In this movie, we're going to be taking a look at regular expressions and the way they're handled within PHP. You may not have heard the term regular expression before. Simply put, it's a way of defining a certain pattern of characters that we're going to check against any string that we wish to check them against. This can be useful if, for instance, we want to make sure that a user is only inputting letters rather than numbers. That's a simple example. Regular expressions can handle very complex patterns and express them very concisely within our scripts. Now, you may not immediately see a need for regular expressions with what we're doing at this stage, and it's quite a lot to take in over a couple of movies. You may want to come back to these movies later on. If you don't get it straight away, that's no trouble. You can just come back to these later and learn them as you need to. However, regular expressions are very useful, and it would be worthwhile you at least watching these movies now to get an idea of the kind of things that you'll need later on as we begin to create more complex scripts. PHP has support for two standards of regular expression, first of which is POSIX style regular expressions, POSIX, and the second of which is Perl compatible regular expressions. POSIX standard is compiled by default along with the regular PHP installation, and so that's the one that we're going to be looking at now. Now, the string function that we use in order to deal with regular expressions is EREG. Let's start up a sample script, and we're going to use our standard variable sentence and put in some sample data. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this ereg function. We're going to use it with an if statement. What ereg does is it returns either true or false depending on whether the regular expression that we define as one of its parameters is found within the string that we ask it to check. The first parameter will be the regular expression that we're asking it to check against. Let's use a very simple one. Just going to use the word word, and then the second parameter that the EREG function takes is sentence, the variable sentence. We're closing two sets of normal rounded brackets there, one because we opened one here and the other one there. The inner one is for the parameters of this function, and the outer one to define the limits for the if conditional. So if this function is successful and the word word is found within sentence, then we're going to echo regular expression found. Let's put an else clause in there as well. So over here we can see regular expression we're using. It's a very simple one. Word. Let's take a look. And it did find that pattern within the string. Now, the pattern that we defined here was a simple set of letters. Regular expressions allow us to use a number of symbols to define patterns without piling up a whole load of if clauses and else's and splitting our strings down and generally using a lot more functions than we need to for a simple pattern check. So, for instance, we can use this symbol, and what that says is check for this word here, word, at the beginning of the string. So if we go back here, we'll see the regular expression was not found because it wanted word at the beginning of the string, and it wasn't. So if we change that to this and check that in the browser, we can see that it's happy with that because the word this was right at the beginning. If we used this and save that, check that in the browser, it's not going to be happy with that. And the reason for that is that this function, EREG, is case sensitive. Now there is a case insensitive version, EREGI, and that will return true for that search. However, we're just going to use the standard one for now.